All right, you know what it is, man. Yo, we got the Sureno'S versus the blacks out in California. I'm gonna cover that. You know what I mean? The Salinas Valley joint. I'm gonna cover that. So, sit back. I'm gonna give you the breakdown on that, break that down between the state and the feds and all that, mix it up, do what we do, because that's how we do here at the Mecca. Because we like to ride, man. All right? You see what I'm saying? I like to ride, man. I like to ride. Let me ride, man. Like I said, you come to my channel, you ride with me. I'm going to give you 3 seconds right now to tap out. All right, your 3 seconds is up. Suckers and rap bastards, flip-flop wearing in public clowns. Go politely. Okay, now this for my gangsters and gangsterettes and those that want to know about being the gangsters sitting in their living room looking at their phone or their big screen TV. All right, so now, we talking about the Sureno'S versus the Cali blacks out in Cali. You know what I mean? So this the way it break down. Dude was in a little joint. You know what I mean? And it was a Spanish dude that lived right next to him. You know what I mean? They say it was a Mexican mafia. I'm just reporting the story, giving y'all a breakdown so y'all can understand it over here at Unique Mecca Audio, because y'all in the prison stories. There was a, alleged Mexican mafia living next door to a black Crip dude. So living right next door to somebody, if you look behind me, you see the cells. So if they living right next door to each other, so when they call count things like that and lock in and everything, everybody go to their cells and they standing next to each other and they get a form of familiarity. This is where my Cash App come in. It's on the screen. Remember, it must be created in 2020. Hit the logo to check. All right? Not recently created. Now, I say about the Cash App because I hit that because this is how we hustle. Now, I say that because, familiarity from them being next door as neighbors next to each other. They get familiar with each other, They might play in a way they normally wouldn't play and play with their homeboys in a way that they normally wouldn't play with you, but you're seeing them in this other, what we call vulnerable situation, because they're not looking as gangster, as they're supposed to be when they're viewed by the outside world, because when they with their homies and their comrades, they at least loosen up and smile a little bit. And now for a gangster from another set, another race or whatever to see you, playing in a vulnerable situation that a man in prison is not supposed to do, but you feel it's not really that bad, so you're doing it and you carrying on and you having fun. Like they run into the door, they might be racing one day. With both of them running up up the tier because the police say lock in and it's an asshole on, so if you don't lock in on time, he gonna come in and shake your cell down. So they both run up with a thing of ice and they right next to each other. And they're both about to go through the door at the same time. And one stop and let the other one go. Now, it depends on how he stops and let him go. If he stops on some serious time and say, go ahead, homie, that's cool, But if he stops and go, okay, you can go before me. No, we don't do all that kicking in the prison. You know what I mean? Because that's being vulnerable. You see, I give Jules a Unique Mecca Audio, and I know you captivated and sitting here watching this because I'm entering you into my mind, man. These people tortured me for 26 years, and I'm here to give you the real so you youngins know it's not worth it. Don't go there. Don't go down that road. Period. Now, back to Salinas Valley, because, you already know I do, man. I like to ride, man. All right? Now, so I'm riding. So now, they next to each other, they're familiar with each other, they play with each other every once in a while. The Crip might tell the Mexican brother, a.k.a. alleged Mexican mafia, yo, don't be playing with me like that so much. And the dude ain't really trying to hear that. You understand what I'm saying? And the dude ain't really trying to hear that. Hold up, man. Let me tell Big Ock what's going on, man. Yo, Ock. Yo.
Yeah, what up?
Hey, yo, listen, I'm doing a video right now for in the morning. What's up? You trying to go out?
Oh, Yeah, I'm trying to mess with it.
All right. So I'll call you when I get off. All right.
All right.
All right. One. See, but like I said, that's how real gangsters do. When homies call, don't matter what you're doing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, oh, I'm busy right now. No, that's family. Because like I said, that's a part of riding. Y'all riding with me in my life right now. I'm sitting here chilling, telling these stories in his jail cell, and then my man called on the phone. So that's a part of my life. I'm trying to give that to you just the way I'm living it. You ain't going to get it no more realer than that. That's my man want to go out and party. He knows where all the industry joints is at. So that's how we go. Big shout out to Big Op. Round of applause for Big Op. Big Op from up by the valley. You already know what time it is. Gargamel, the whole crew. You know. Now, check. So, they're over in Salinas Valley and they're going through all this bull crap and they're going back and forth. You know what I mean? So, black dude get tired of it and, you know, the alleged Mexican mafia was drinking and a little tipsy and, you know, he played with him in a way that the black dude didn't feel it was appropriate. And he must have told him a number of times, like, yo, the way we've been playing because I may have keyed the wrong way, that you took the wrong way or whatever. That's not really me, so please stop playing with me. And the Mexican mafia took it like he knew him enough because, like I said, that's where the Cash App came from. The familiarity breeds disrespect. Never forget that breathful. Familiarity breeds disrespect. You know, just, speculating how it went in prison because, I was there, done that, so I could do that. Not saying everything went the way I said, that's why I say alleged and everything else. But I'm giving you the gist story because I'm all the way out here in New York and I got to break this Cali news down so y'all understand this here in New York and, out in Cali that might not understand the legal jargon that others might use, which I enjoy. So no shoot, no shots. Because if we don't do that, Unique Mecca. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it, period. But anyway, so, dude up in a joint, and black dude gets tired of it, and he goes and he stabs the alleged Mexican mafia. So y'all understand, because I ride and I give y'all jewels, you know what I mean? That's why, the rat bastards and trolls and flip-flop wearing and public clowns, they got a problem with the gunshots, you know what I mean? Because they got a Cash App on their show, but they not asking for no Cash App because they're not giving nothing worthy of a Cash App. I'm saving your life. You know what I mean? I'm saving your family members, your friends, and everybody else's life that you share these jewels with. So share these videos. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. That's all I ask for. Forget the Cash App. Everybody, don't send the Cash App, but subscribe. Let's try that one. Everybody watching this, subscribe. I got about 40% watch this, not subscribe. So subscribe. That's all I ask for. Forget the Cash App. Push that off the screen for this video because I'm going to give you a nice one right now. So now they sitting in there and they going at it. Black dude gets tired of the, alleged Mexican mafia, and he go get his bang and he go put it in him, boom. But he ain't saying to nobody, he just handled his business because he felt he disrespected him and he needed to get the banger put in him. So now he puts the banger in him and then the police grabs him and then they transfer him to another jail. So now he winds up in Salinas. When he winds up in Salinas, they sent a kite over there saying that he stabbed the big kahuna. And I don't know if I was going there, I wasn't, because, I ride a lot and, what I mean? Like I said, I like to do me and ride. So, don't pay me no mind when, when you hear me, riding, Because that's just what I like to do, I like to ride. Now, so this dude is sitting there, and they transfer him to Salinas, and the kite come there. When the kite come there, now the Sureno'S had an issue with that, so they stepped to the blacks and the Crips, because the dude was a Crip and told them straight up, yo, you know what it is. Dude can't come on his compound. He stabbed the MA, come on, dog. We're not going to do that, And Crips, as men, you know what I mean? Because that's what they are, too, This is the Sureno'S, is men. The Crips went and they hollered at, the homie, and they said, yo, they saying this and that. What happened at the other spot? Because, nobody's going to tell you that when they tell you these stories because they wasn't really in these type of situations to understand how the mechanics of this is played out. That's why I mentioned the Cash App, but instead, like I said, y'all just subscribe. That's all I ask, just subscribe. Forget the Cash App today, just subscribe. So now, dude sits there and he tells him straight up, let me go talk to my man and see what happened. He go holler at the Crip dude and he said, yo, what happened to all the joints? He said, dude kept playing with me. I told him, stop playing with me. He got disrespectful. He did X, Y, Z. I wasn't going to have X, Y, Z done to me as a man, so I did what a man would do, and I defended my manhood, and I stabbed him. So now, the Crip said, man, good enough for me, man, because I would have did the same thing. You know, you was on man time. So on the strength of that, even though nobody on this compound know you, you still a Crip, my nigga. See, y'all ain't gonna get it real like this. This is how they talk to him, so you understand. You know what I mean? He said, you still a Crip, my nigga. And we got you. You ain't do nothing wrong. We ain't gonna let them whoop do a damn thing to one of ours, nigga. We got you. You ain't going nowhere. So they go back and they tell him, yo, my man ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I'm gonna throw my New York in it, son. You know what I mean? She ain't going nowhere, son. You know what I mean? But out there, you know what I mean? So, you know, dudes went through a thing and they let it die off. You know what I mean? They let it die off. You know, the Sureno'S let it ride like it was nothing. This is what you call, like I said, this is why I say cash app, but we say subscribe today. This subscribe day. You know, this is where the Sureno'S, you know, rock them to sleep. This is what you call rocking somebody to sleep. They let a month, maybe 2 months go by. You know what I mean? And then, you know, they pick a day, you know, to make they move. You know what I mean? And they hit dude up, whoop the whoop. You already know, like they say, whoop the whoop, you know. No disrespect, but just like we say, son, we have fun, you know. Different terminology for different geographical locations. If you're a man, you know everybody got their own geographical location, and you don't take it personal when someone uses theirs. It might sound funny to you because you never heard it. Like when I was in Virginia and I heard them calling somebody a stick man. Now, what the hell is a stick man? Like you know, everything would have its, everything would have his origin, like what something means when they say it. You know what I mean? Like homeboy, meaning you know, you're from home and that's your boy. You know what I mean? But where do you get stick and man? You know what I mean? Like, how does that equate? But, you know, that's what they did in Virginia. Not laughing at him, but I'm just saying I was really confused with that. But like I said, he told dude, nah, he ain't going nowhere. So he go back, tell him he ain't going nowhere. About a month and a half, 2 months later, you know what I mean? Dude jumps on him, you know what I mean? He stabs him up, all types of crap breaks out. You know what I mean? So now after he done hit him up and they in there, check out how they play. The Crips feel like, let me see how to put this. The Crips feel like they was set up by the police. They in the state, I was in the feds, and I don't take it too far-fetched. If that's what your first mind tell you, that's what it is, brother Crip. You know what I mean? Not tell nobody to do nothing, I'm just telling you what it is. You know what I mean? Because when, you know, we was in the prison, like in Marion, let's say. In Marion, when, I told a story about Barry Mills earlier. But like in Marion, when, you know, rest in peace, the Cadillac got killed and things like that, the police set Cadillac up in Marion Penitentiary. Everybody knows that. That's a fact. Big shout out to D.C. Big shout out to the D.C. blacks for holding us down. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we had to make our mark in the prison as black men so we wouldn't be black food. So if you youngins want to go to prison to have to live like this, man, the doors are open. My bed is still available. It might be overcrowded now, but trust me, they got beds for you. So I'm giving you all the real. So this is what's going on. So they let out like 10 blacks, you know what I mean? You know, it's allegedly said out there in Cali. They let out like 10 blacks, you know what I mean? And like 40, you know, Spanish dudes. You know, we talking about Sureno'S, Nathaniel, we talking about the Paisans. They all in the yard, 40 deep, and you got 10 dudes, you know what I mean? One, you know, one old and another one there. You know what I mean? So you got about 9 dudes. So you got 9 dudes on the yard, and now, you know what I mean? Cause that'll tell the old timer, yo, y'all, you go on inside, man. You're a little too old for this, so we don't want nothing to happen to you because you are elder. You know, you can live to write our stories in a book, but we the soldiers going on the battlefield right now against these Hispanics. You understand? That's how the brother, you know, told the old dude, you go on inside, man. We as your young soldiers is going to defend you and your honor to be a black man in the penitentiary. Y'all can't understand this because I'm giving it to you, it's real. I got this from Dr. Shakur. I got this from, and I'm going to say it again, I said in the last video, from Sherman Dobson. I got this from Mo Gary. You understand? I got this from Appleby. You know, I got this from Warriors. You understand what I'm saying? These are warriors that stand by what's right. You know what I mean? They stand by what's right. You know, they didn't get involved in nothing in the prison, but they gave us the wisdom we needed to know to better ourselves, to elevate to the next level, to know the program to get out here. So that's why I say these brothers are responsible for me being here. But like I said, if a warrior want to go to war and you a king, you know what I mean? You let him go, you know? But anyway, so then y'all, they scrapping it up to, you know, when they go out there, they getting ready to call them to go in. Only like half of the Spanish dudes was going in, and the 10 black dudes was going in together when they called different sections to go in. And as they going up in there, right? Check it out. As they going up in, the black dude says, man, the numbers is weak. They screwed up. You know, they got half going in. Let's make our move. You know what I mean? So the Crips said, man, right now we outnumbered. Even though in that jail, the Crips was outnumbered, but the way they put them in the yard that day, they was outnumbered. But these are soldiers, man. These are soldiers that didn't wait till the compound opened up to say, let me get all my homeboys. They made a strategic choice that right now, there's only 10 of them out, 20 of them out the 40. We can get our man because they blew it and they didn't get us when they were supposed to get us. So let's get them now before they get us because we got them outnumbered. You see how real this gets you youngins watching this? Ain't no game playing here, man. This was going on right now today in the penitentiary I'm telling you about, but I'm breaking it down in my words so you understand. This is what's being said in those places in a time like this. And everybody Spanish out there that's in that little corner, even though they might only be counting 20, it might be 10 more that they didn't count. But if they Spanish and them black dudes roll, they must roll whether they're independent or they gang affiliated or not, because Spanish is Spanish against the blacks and blacks is blacks against the, you know, or the other races. And that's what's going on in the prison. You want that? Go get it, my nigga. Go get it. Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm definitely not going to tell you not to. I'm going to tell you you shouldn't. You shouldn't want that. Because when y'all hear that word, you know, you're not supposed to do that, you feel now's the time to be rebellious and do it. So I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to say you shouldn't do that. To make it sound a little softer to your soul. So I'm talking to you young boys out there, you young gangbangers and all that. No disrespect when I say boys. That's where we talk. Like we say white boys, but we mean white men with the utmost respect. You know what I mean? But that's just terminology. So don't let the forces that be don't use the N-word because this is that. Nah, man, they ain't nothing, my nigga. You know, I'm giving it to you raw because it's a gangster channel, man. Whoever don't like it, screw you. But anyway, so dudes is out there. You know what I mean? So they get out on them and they go back in and they get their little get back, you know? So now, you know, when they go get they get back, they go back in the unit and it's riots in the unit, everything going on. But that's what happened in the prison. Everybody have to take off from that race when that race gets into something with another race. If you don't, you become food. And then if you gang affiliated or connected to a car, when you get to the next prison, it would travel, that shit popped off and you didn't do nothing, my nigga. So that's the world you want to enter into. Feel free to do that. But check out the way the police did it that day. They sat there and they took allegedly, they took 40 Spanish dudes and said, come on, y'all, go to rec. They said 10 black dudes, y'all go to rec. Then they say, oh, the next day we was going to switch the numbers. So you was going to let 10 black dudes get killed today and then tomorrow let another 10 Spanish dudes get killed tomorrow. You know what I mean? That was your brilliant plan. And you know the crazy stuff is when stuff like that jump off, you got the warden, right? You got the warden and you know, the three-piece suit, you know, the fancy shoes and the AW, the fancy shoes. And it's going to be a whole nother video, but I'm just going to give it to you a little raw. Then you got, the captain. You know, the captain is like the pit bull. The AW, you know, runs the jail for the warden. The warden just signs off. It's like the vice president. You know what I mean? The vice president brings stuff to the warden and he signs off. So he don't do too much. That's the warden. Then the AW, you know what I mean? He litigate the disposition to run the prison effectively to the captain. So the AW got the captain working for him and the captain got the correction officers working for him. So now you got, 40 Spanish guys and 10 black dudes in the yard. How are you officers going to handle this for the captain is what the AW is sitting back saying, and the warden is saying, yeah, let's see if we got to get rid of this captain. Let's see how he's going to handle this, 50-man brawl, however it may turn out. So they sit back and they smoke a cigar and they make bets. Well, I bet on the Hispanic brothers because they came together as Northerners and Southerners, Californians and Paisans, and it's more of them against the Negroes right now in the yard. So being that it's more of them, you know, I bet you $2,000, you know. And then he said, yeah, but the black dogs that we chose to come out, those are real warriors. That's why we only chose 10. We chose 10 of the best warriors to go up against the whole Sureno'S in this section of the jail. They're all Hispanics. This is what they told them, my nigga. This is so you understand how this penitentiary rolls. If y'all want to go in here and be these puppets to this type of game, feel free to do that. So now dude is sitting there and he telling them straight up, you know, I picked the 10 black warriors to go up against them. Let's sit back and see how this play out, Mr. Warden. The warden said, touche. That's how they still have entertainment on us in prison like they did back in the gladiator days, man. And then now they got video cameras on everything. So when they let us go to war, next thing you know, they sell it to CNN and Nat Geo. It's a business. They let us stab each other up because Nat Geo said, we need some more violent footage and we got $1 million for every 60 seconds of a brutal stabbing you give us. Nat Geo telling the warden that. So the warden said, let's create a war. Let's create a riot so they have to get extremely Nat Geographical for. Y'all ain't even thinking like this. Why the Cash App up there? But just subscribe to that. All right? Let's all keep our word. Just subscribe. Now, so we sitting there, Nat Geo paying $1 million for every 60 seconds they giving us. So they said, okay, well, we got to get 40 Hispanics out to the yard. You know? I'm getting ready to sneeze. Ooh, shit. See how natural my shit is? Gunshots to the haters and rat bastards that didn't understand me being unique. But anyway, let me go. So you got Nat Geo. Nat Geo give them $1 million for every 60 seconds of a stabbing. So they create a stabbing where they bring 10 of the toughest black dudes out there, real strong, what they call Niagara gladiators, to go up against all these Hispanics. So they know they're going to get a brutal one. Either a bunch of the Hispanics going to get out on the 10 or, you know, maybe they get lucky and get out on 1 or 2 of the Hispanics. This is how they bet a little $2,000 a pop. So now they sitting in there, you know, and they sitting back smoking their cigars and they watch it, you know. And then when they done, they take those tapes and they break them down to 60-second segments, and then, you know, they copyrighted, trademarked them, and they send them out to Nat Geo and, you know, all these other places, you know what I mean, that deal with that, you know, what that says, a History Channel and all that, you know, so that they can make their movies, ID Channel, A&E, you know what I mean? They say it's a business office. They make money in all levels. Y'all never thought of that level. That's why the Cash App pop up every time I'm giving y'all jewels, because you never thought of that level. You know, but I'm taking your mind into what's really going on the inside, because there's 26 and a half years in there, growing up in there and learning financial literacy and regular literacy as I go along in comprehension and how to read spreadsheets. I get to see what's going on. Like the unicorn. I'm in a little unicorn up in ADX because I like to ride. Let's get the joint going, you know? Where my joint at? All right. Yeah, all right. So now, you know, like I'm in Unicorn. Unicorn, we got a little factory, only got like maybe 12, maybe 18 little stalls, and we putting the backs on the chairs and the bottoms on the chairs because we can't work with nothing metal because we're the violence of the violence of the violent of the violent and the violent ones in America in ADX. So we can't have no screws and stuff like that to work with, you know what I mean, or staples even then. And that's what we have with the staples to pull the cloth back and staple it, but we couldn't have no screwdriver, none of that crap. But anyway, so they got us up in ADX and we doing this to make sure we're prepared to go to the next level. So I get a chance to look at the books, and can you believe that little unicorn that I was in for the year, it made like $490 million. Now, I think it was 4 million. Let me correct that, because you know we always got the rat bastards and trolls and flops. I think they made like maybe 4 million off for us making these chairs in there, and they paying us like maybe $80 a month, some 60, but you get as much as $110 a month, you know? And they made almost $500,000. That's what it was. It was only half, or only had like half a million, something crazy. That was it. It was like yeah. It was almost a $500,000 they made in there like 6 months. That's what it was. So that's when I see that, my sweat and labor was producing financial gain for the government. So that's why that's a whole other show I'm going to do about the unicorn, how we fought the unicorn. We got caught up with something called encouraging others to riot. See, I give you jewels you never heard. Encouraging others to riot. And then you have the actual rioters, like they charged me with both. You know what I mean? But you definitely don't want to ride on your jacket, because I had to ride with that for 26 years. Everywhere I went, I was red flagged and marked. And you definitely don't want that. But anyway, so they out there, they smash them. So they feel like the black brothers allegedly feel like the police set that up. You know what I mean? By putting the numbers like that. But don't put it all, because even when I was in Atwater, you know what I mean? The Sureno'S had Sereno Police and Sereno SIS that run the jail. They all affiliated because where they grow up, they family members. The Sureno'S, now they got them in Atwater. You got all those Nigers from across the water. You know what I mean? So you already know how hard it is surviving out there. So we just had to move extra militant. You know what I mean? We was always was gangsters, but we moved more militant to let them know that there wasn't no playing. Just like the Crip dude was moving militant when, allegedly, he told him, yo, stop playing with me so much. You getting carried away. We just neighbors, nigga. We ain't in the same clique. You ain't no Crip or nothing. You know what I mean? So stop it. You know what I mean? But, it's the same thing. So they up in the joint, right? So as they going in from this fight, so they go in the unit, everybody pack their property. Everybody pack their property. Because they don't know who the police is coming to get. Because as long as you're a Crip, they're going to get you. As long as you're Nathaniel, Sereno, Pison, they're coming to get you if they feel that, you're influential or you had that nasty red flag that I had to wear. So that's where that's at. So it's like, what are you going to do? What are you really going to do? You going to go to prison and have to live like this? Because this is still going on. So I can just end this right here, because this is still going on as we speak, because we don't know what the next move is going to be. Let's hope Allah step down and soothe their hearts to stop them from this before someone gets killed doing all of this. Because I've seen that happen in the prison. I've seen an officer, I've seen a correction officer get mutilated in federal prison. You know what I mean? So you think that, if they can't protect themselves, that they could protect the 2,000 or 1,500 men that's in their prison, and they can't even protect one of their own, that he lost his life to a murder, to a stabbing. Y'all don't understand how deep this game is I'm giving you, man. That's why you got them rat bastards and trolls and flip-flop wearing and public clowns, be talking trash because they trying to keep you blind to the facts and the realization to what's really going on in society and behind the prison walls. And what our true history is. Because those are the rat bastards. Come and duck. Gunshots. You know what I mean? Because that's how they go, man. You got to duck them, son. Because they're coming. They're coming. You know what I mean? They're going to try and keep you confused, man. They're going to try and keep you confused. Because as long as you stay blind and dumb, they could feel like they're above you. But when you wake up to get knowledge of self, now they feel intimidated because they know that you're already above them, because they can see that you got knowledge of self, and they still moving like savages. You know what I mean? Savages is the crab in the barrel technique. It's the ones that go get involved with somebody, do something illegal, and then, he tell on his comrade. That's a crab in the barrel. That's a crab in the barrel. You know what I mean? But if you don't disrespect anyone, and you stay in your lane and don't break the law, and you don't have to worry about the choice if you want to be a crab in a barrel or trying to say I'm wrong for saying that. But, a rat bastard gonna say what they got to say anyway. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I learned how these trolls roll, but that's where we at, man. So I'm going to tap out because I've been on here long enough. I just want to, break that down with the Sureno'S versus the Cali blacks out there at Salinas, what's going on right now. Keep your eyes on. Like I said, I just broke that down to mix it up with what, I've been through and things like that, give you a better understanding. But like I said, everything was allegedly, and I kind of worked with it to just give you the scenario so you know what we're dealing with. But let's pray for both fractions, all fractions that's involved in that, because those men don't need to do that. You know what I mean? They need to really... But anyway, let me go, man, because I'm going to get emotional because I done been through that so many times, and to think about brothers having to still go through it because you got innocent people that don't even want to be a part of it. But they have no choice because if they're in the atmosphere around the blacks or the Crips, you know what I mean? They're going to have to take off if that's the order for them to take off, whether they're gang affiliated or not, just because they're racist Hispanic. If they don't take off when it's over, they're out of here. And I mean, that could be airlifted, meaning stabbed up so bad they can't even drive you to the local hospital to save your life. So they had to lower a helicopter on the premises to come snatch your dumb ass up to go take you up to a goddamn hospital because you don't got airlifted for trying to be a tough guy when you could have just stayed on your porch. Stay on the porch and watch Unique Mecca audio. Listen to my stories and just enjoy my stories, man. Don't try and live out your own because I'm telling you it wasn't worth it. 26 years and a half of my life. So if I could sit here and tell you it wasn't worth it and you still want to do it, all I'm going to say is gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. Just keep it real, my nigga. Just keep it real, my nigga. You know what I mean? Don't go tell on your comrade. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't get off the porch. Don't break the law. Don't do none of that. But there is rules in the game. So y'all say, oh, he's playing two sides, he's this and that. No, someone have to still tell them the rules so they can make a conscious choice if they want to get involved in the game and not tell on their comrades and go to jail for the rest of their life, or keep it straight gangster. That people that civilians try and speak on, that's why it make no sense to even respond to them because, they've never been battle tested. They've only been lip-affested, on YouTube. But, it is what it is. But I'm going to tap out, man. I really enjoy y'all coming in, man. And like I said, let's pray for the brothers in Salinas, man. All races, so they all come together and, get their life together, man. And, try and come back out here with their family and loved ones because we need them out here, man. You don't know what the next one would be. Next one might be a next Unique Mecca audio.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rudiments.